Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, HaKodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. And peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, pushing this world without truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom, shalom. It's your brother Quan Walth at the Great Millstone Charlotte Camp. Come with another quick lesson to the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And this evening, man, just real quick, touching on this video that brothers put in the chat, right? And the sentiment going out, as we're watching this beast infrastructure, right, be set, man, right? Now, when you get this word for infrastructure, it's like here in the Free Dictionary, it says an underlying base or foundation, especially for an organization or system, right? So this the beast system, right? The beginnings, right? The groundwork is being laid, man, right? And it's already been laid, but we're seeing that the finalization of these things, right, come to fruition, man, right? It's happening before our eyes, right? Like it says in definition 2, the basic facilities, services, installations needed for the functioning of a community or society, such as transportation and communication systems, water and power lines, and public institutions, including schools, post offices, prisons, with the point being, right, the facilities, services, right, things that need to be installed in order for the society, right, underneath this beast, right, to function. And this is what the groundwork that's being laid. So as we watch this video, here with Trump, this healthcare, like I said, is bringing healthcare into the digital age. This is just another stone, right, in this infrastructure, right? So let's play this.
But thanks to this announcement, healthcare providers across the country will also finally be able to kill the clipboard. It's an expression that's used, capital, with a capital C, kill the clipboard. Instead of filling out the same tedious paperwork at every medical appointment, patients will simply be able to grant their doctors access to their records at the push of a button, just a button, and you're all set, and all the information the doctor needs will be immediately transmitted.
Oh, that's exactly what it is, man. The infrastructure of the beast, right? Going into that digital age. Now, I searched this here in ChatGPT. It said, what would the infrastructure of the beast system in Revelation 13 look like? It reads, the beast system described in Revelation 13 is a symbolic and prophetic depiction of a powerful, authoritarian global regime that rises in opposition to the Most High. And this is what we're seeing take place, right? Now, jumping down, it goes into the points. The number 1, global surveillance and control grid. It's lucky. It says AI driven surveillance systems, which we covered on that in a lesson earlier this week, or last week rather. It says centralized data hubs, right? And what Trump is talking about is giving people access through, right, digital means, right, to the centralized medical data. It says real-time tracking via smartphones, smart cities, biometric sensors, right? So, what's his name? RFK Jr., his MABA, right, was Make America Biotech Accelerate, right? So they're trying to accelerate, these different implantable devices, these wearables, right? All things of that nature, which are conditioning the people into accepting that curriculum, right? It says digital identification system. It says universal digital ID linked to biometrics like fingerprints, iris scans, possibly integrated into wearable tech and subdermal implants, man. Right? This is what's coming. The microchips, right? All these things are being attached together, right? And again, they're laying the groundwork, the framework, right? Getting all the systems in place so that they can try to have a seamless enforcement of this device, Now they're gonna do it through, order out of chaos, but we understand that they have to set these things up ahead of time, you know? Let's see what it says here. Centralized economic system, cashless economy, central bank digital currencies, programmable, trackable money, global financial system controlled by few institutions, smart contracts, enforcing rules based on identity/behavior. You know, we went into that, the social credit score system, right? Now, let's see here. This last point here they had at the bottom. It says, if the beast system in Revelation 13 were to manifest in the modern world, its infrastructure would likely involve total surveillance, digital identity, and economy, right? And that's the point of that Trump video, man, right? This is adding to that digital identity, digital economy, right? It says psychological and spiritual manipulation, enforcement of loyalty through coercion and worship, right? But just keeping the focus on the technology aspect of it, man, right? What Trump is doing, right, through, again, going back to that video,
Announcement: healthcare providers across the country will also finally be able to kill the clipboard. It's an expression that's used, capital, with a capital C, kill the clipboard. Instead of filling out the same tedious paperwork at every medical appointment, patients will simply be able to grant their doctors access to their records at the push of a button. Just a button and you're all set, and all the information the doctor needs will be immediately transmitted.
Yep. So these things are gonna be transmittable, right? First and foremost through that device, man. Right? The early stages, they may give you access through other means, but you're gonna have to get implanted with this thing, you know, to receive these so-called benefits, man. Right? To kill the clipboard, right? They want to get rid of all of the so-called old world methods of gaining information and move it all digital, man. Right? So we'll get this here. Revelation 13. And we'll start in 11, right? Revelation 13:11. And I beheld another beast come up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, right? So this beast, right, being of this American system, right, Babylon the Great, there's two horns being the Democrats, Republican, the two-party system, man, right? Whether it be, right, of the old Roman Republic where they had the plebeians and the patricians, you know, these things are all, you know, being brought back around, right? And it spake as a dragon because of the draconian measures, man, right? Now, if they're tying your medical records, right, to this digital system, what else are they going to be tying, right? We already have the real ID, right, where people can't travel without having the new modified passports, right? They're already talking about getting these digital ID passports and things of that nature, right, for people to travel. So it's all, you know, leaning towards the beast, man, right? All roads lead to the Karabma, right? It says, and he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed, right? So Rome being that first beast, we're seeing the same intent, right? The same infrastructure that Rome wished to implement is what we're seeing take place, right? They laid that framework, and now they're just following in those same footsteps, but they have even greater technological advancements, right? So that they can complete this mission or attempt to complete that mission, right? So they're exercising the same power, man, right? It says, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, right? Going back to the nuclear weapons right? Them starting the bombs that they dropped on Hiroshima during World War II, and then the increase in that military power, that military might, right, that they've used to control the earth. Verse 14, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which ye have power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast that had the wound by a sword and did live. Because this is the reflection of that Roman Empire, man. Right? Now, when you read this in the NLT, it says, and with all the miracles he was allowed to perform on the behalf of the first beast. Right? So this is the one and the same, right? It's moving in the same manner, right? With the same agendas, Verse 15, ye have power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And this is part of the beast speaking again. It's like it. This is part of that beast speaking, is that us getting to see them implement these different rules and regulations, man. Because as we read in verse 16, and he causeth all, right? That word causeth. It says here, jumping down, to constitute or appoint anything to appoint or ordain, right? So these are ordinances that are being put forth, right, from Trump, right, from his handlers, right, from these global elites ultimately, right? It says, let me see here. Is anything else? No, that's the point. But yeah, they're constituting, right? They're putting these things in law. They're making different regulations and things like that, right? That are in the best interest of this beast system, right? Again, laying that infrastructure out, man, right? Setting forth the systems, right, so they can have a so-called seamless transition into this new world. It says, verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell. Oh, it's like it. Let me start back. Verse 16, Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, the charagma, right, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name, right? So you're going to be, right, completely intertwined into this beast system, right? That's what they want from the people, right? They want to have complete control over your souls, man, right? They want you to give up power, right? Give up your faith in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Speaking to you Israelites, they want you to give up your faith and kneel before him as he's a king, man, right? They want you to see him as God on earth. And they're going to present this device as a means of salvation, right? To rescue you or redeem you, from the calamities that he's bringing forth, right? Through that order out of chaos, man. It says, here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, right? So that point, being that we're watching the groundwork be laid, we're watching the systems be put in place, right, for this system or for the beast, for that mark to be pushed, man. We know it's already out there in the world, but it hasn't been forced upon the masses. But soon, this is going to be a requirement for you to continue on in society. They're tying it to your medical records. They're tying it to your ability to travel. It's going to be tied to your ability to get food, right? It's going to be tied to your ability to have housing, right? Your entire life is going to have to be connected to that device, right? Or, like it says, you will be killed, right? You'll be cut off, from the world, right? But like the scriptures say, let me get this and then we'll close. this. Okay, I got one more after this too. Revelation 2:10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and that ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Right? So you have to be faithful, like it says in NLT, even when facing death, man. Right? Even when facing whatever, Esau can do, right, to discomfort you, right, to bring, hell upon your life for refusing this device, right? Because ultimately, we'll get here. Revelation 12:11, and they overcame him, right? So the elect are going to overcome this beast system, right? This anti-Messiah world that we live in. The elect are going to overcome this, man, right? Through all the trials and tribulations. It says, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, right? Through the sacrifice of Yahweh Shai, and by the word of their testimony, which is of Yahweh Shai. And they loved not their lives unto death. So there's nothing you can do, right, to the elect, right, to take them out of the hands of the Lord, man. Revelation 8, I believe it's in the latter portions in the 30, I think it's 32, right? But like it says, they love not their lives unto death, right? So those who are being killed, separated, right, or even have to be martyrs, for refusing to partake and bow before this beast, they already counted their lives lost, man, right? They count this world a loss, and as we're watching this infrastructure be established, we're giving more and more praise to the Lord because we're getting closer and closer to the day of our salvation, man, and it's, more and more cause for us to tighten down, battening down the hatches, right? Setting our houses in order, for these times to come, because we know that great day of tribulation, that great day of testing is coming, So just a quick lesson to the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. I'm going to close by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect pushing this world with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom, shalom. Kwame Sharala and the Bible Ball. Shalom.